So we're all officers of Durango High School DECA, and for this year's event we're doing a community service project, and that is the Kilowatt campaign, and that came from our environmental concern. An environmental concern can be summarized in three very important numbers. The first one is 2 degrees Celsius, and it is stated in the first paragraph of the Copenhagen Accord from the 15th Conference of the Parties of the UNFCCC. And this number is the max temperature increase that the Earth can undergo without experiencing major environmental changes that can make the world uninhabitable. The second number is 565 gigatons, and that is the maximum carbon emissions that can occur in order to stay under that 2 degrees Celsius cap. Now the third number is 2,795 gigatons, and this number describes the amount of carbon emissions that fossil fuel industries have already invested in and are planning to create carbon dioxide emissions. Now, if you see, 2,795 gigatons is a lot bigger than 565 gigatons, and that highlights the environmental concern that if we do burn 2,795 gigatons of carbon dioxide, that's going to create a big environmental impact.
So throughout our project, as Mr. Snowberger mentioned, we've worked with so many people. A few of those include Alex Brooks, Rachel Landis, Matthew Calvin, Rachel Gilman, Victor Figueroa, John Hurl, Shane Voss, Ed Webb, Nancy Andrews, Dan Harms, Ray Prody, and TJ Wilson, just to name a few. And so the last one that I mentioned, TJ Wilson, who's actually here tonight, he really helped us to develop our ideas fully and create a solid plan that we could work with. And so from that we created our three main projects, which were the parking lot lights, the big floodlight behind the school, and the can lights in the hall, stairs, and lobby, as seen on pages 4 through 7 of your packet. Next slide.
So we chose our project to focus on LED lighting because based off of the McKinstry report, which was created 3 to 4 years ago, and they were a contractor for reducing energy use at Durango High School, but also within other 9R school district buildings. Based off of their report, DHS is the most energy inefficient building of the 9R buildings. They also stated that 82% of the utility cost at Durango High School is electrical. So by focusing on LEDs, we can dramatically decrease the energy use at Durango High School. It has the fastest payback, is the easiest, most cost effective, and also because LED technology was not out during the McKinstry, when they did their project, it was not done by McKinstry, leading us to do that. Next slide.
So because our project is focused on increasing the energy efficiency of DHS, it's important to incorporate the 3 Ps, physics, policy, and price, to see the attainability of the project. And so we go on in the rest of the presentation to explain that. And just to explain the picture, it has to do with the background of how energy is generated from the generating station to the receiving station, distribution, and then finally to the consumer, and how the volts slowly get lower so that it's safer to get to the consumer.
So, to elaborate, it's very important that physics, price, and policy are attainable to make sure that the project is feasible. And so the first P, physics. So LEDs are more efficient than T8s and T5s that are currently installed from McKinstry. Also, LEDs provide a wider light, and we're aiming for 3,000 Kelvin, and Kelvin refers to the color or hue of the light. Now, the max Kelvin could be up around 4,000 Kelvin, but because extra calcium rhythm and melatonin is associated with more white lights, we are trying to keep our LEDs at around 3,000 Kelvin.
So for a fun experiment, we Ray Crody gave us a light meter and a laser measure, and we went out to the DHS parking lot during the supermoon, and we made our own photometrics, which is a measure of a foot candle on a surface. And so we made a photometrics where we got the light candles. And so the minimum light candle output normally in a parking lot is about 0.5, and ours happened to be negative 0.3, which is a huge difference. And the ideal average output is between 1 and 1.5 light foot candles, and our average was about 0.17. And so it's obvious that the lighting is not very good. And we can all say, because we're all athletes, that when we come out of the school at night to go to our cars, it's pretty dark outside and the lights don't help it.
I would like to add that the lights are very spotty, so it'll be very bright in one area, and then 5 feet away it'll be completely dark. So just LEDs will provide a more distributed light. In addition, so the second P is policy, and looking at the policy of LEDs, it is a win-win-win, because if DHS reduces their energy usage, then we don't have to purchase as much from LPEA, and then LPEA doesn't have to purchase as much energy from Tri-State, the generation and transmission company, and then Tri-State doesn't have to buy as much fossil fuels from the fossil fuel companies, so we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions, reduce our energy use, foster clean energy jobs, and also save us money, all increasing energy awareness.
So the third P that we were talking about is price, and if you turn to page 2 and 3 in your packet, you'll see the cost overall and the rebates that we're getting from LPEA. So the cost of the lights without the ring extenders that we would need is $21,939 after the LPEA rebate. But the total cost of materials with the ring extenders, which would avoid replacing the fixtures altogether, is $22,925. We'd also like to mention that the labor would be free or no additional cost, because TJ and the others are paid salary, so they would just be putting them in on their salary. And you'd be saving $6,780 per year, or $113,000 within the lifespan of the lights, which you'll see in blue on the chart. Next slide.
Okay, so coming back to the 3 Ps, physics, policy, and price, it all makes sense. The return on investment is great, the price is good, and the savings are there. So why shouldn't we implement these projects?
Next slide. Also, going back to the environmental concern, the kilowatts saved is mentioned in the packet, and it's equivalent to about 37.9 metric tons of carbon dioxide, and that's enough for 40,494 pounds of coal burned, and 12 tons of waste recycled instead of landfilled, and 4,270 gallons of gasoline consumed, and 90,948 miles driven by an average passenger vehicle, and 35.9 acres of U.S. forests in 1 year. That carbon dioxide diminished by those forests. Next slide. So the other part of our project, which is very important, is to ensure that environment concerns are continued beyond when we're graduating, because me and Ann are both seniors and Ruby is a junior, and we want to make sure that projects like this continue past our graduation. And so currently we are starting an environmental club at Durango High School, and we have 2 advisors, Tom Grist and Lou Bourne, and both are very qualified for the position, and Lou Bourne specifically has a lot of background in environment and energy efficiency and water efficiency. But we want to take that club to an environmental center. Now the difference between a club and a center is a club is just, anyone can do it. Like there's chess club and there's yoga club or whatever, but an environmental center has the support of the institution, so you guys, and that would have to do with funding, but also just the support. Now, some projects that we would like to do is we could do conservation meals within the school. We can also make sure that there's an environmental curriculum within the school. Lou Boren has offered to kind of expand on that, not beyond just agriculture, but also environment, and just addressing that environmental concern, which will be a big future career option for many students. And then also we can bring in guest speakers, and then also make sure that the school is taking important practices for the environment. So by making sure that the computer labs have an option to turn off when they aren't in use, or making sure that all the little tiny mini refrigerators that teachers use are not running throughout the summer. Some benefits would be to jumpstart careers, community service, youth engagement, but also spread awareness about the environment. And we are hoping that we can partner with Fort Lewis College. I've already talked to Rachel Landis and Alex Brooks at Fort Lewis College so that we can make the Durango High School Environmental Center a satellite of FLC Environmental Center.
So, as you've heard, there's a lot of benefits of what we're doing right now, and a lot of benefits of any changes if they were to be implemented. So those benefits are safety, improved lighting throughout the whole school, and therefore a better learning environment and atmosphere. Lower energy use for the school, which would lead to significantly lower costs per year. Buying local energy rather than supporting big industries. Environmental awareness and spreading that throughout the community, and setting a precedent for future projects and for whatever we can be doing to ensure a bright future for all of our students.
So that's our project. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. We hope you guys approve our project. Thank you.
If you guys have any questions.
We may have time for one or two questions.
Yeah,
Yes.
questions for sure.
I have one quick question. So what are you saying? I'm sorry, I can't read it and listen very well. So you're saying that this would pay the initial cost for installation would be paid off in 3 years, and after 3 years, in today's dollars, we would see $6,780 in our pockets that weren't there before.
That you weren't. It's basically just what you weren't, or what you're no longer spending on the energy that you're spending now. Yeah.
And I think you mentioned labor, but I'm not sure. Could you discuss that part again, please?
Definitely. So, so for maintenance and actually installing the light, is that what you're asking? So, so TJ and then another electrician, they're hired on salary. So it wouldn't increase the cost to actually go in and change the lights. That would just have to do with them going in during their daily hours, and so that price wouldn't increase. But also another benefit is the lights don't have to be changed out as much. So we don't have to replace them to recycle them and drive the recycled light bulbs all the way to Grand Junction as much. So.
They're referring to our electricians that are hired in the district. So
we appreciate the opportunity to learn from you. You'll continue to work with Mr. Snowberger and his team. I think Dave Dillman's in the house as well, so we'd like to recognize the great work of your teacher over there. Thanks, Mr. Dillman.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So good luck, and Mr. Dillman's keeping us up to date on all of your great competitions as well. So it looks like you're off to a great start, and we wish you the best of luck in the next semester.
Thank you.
ladies, I'll meet with our chancellor.
7D, the 5-year budget projection with the mill levy. Dan?
Sure. We're going to display a